Welcome everybody to this special Wholesaling Inc. podcast episode. This podcast is absolutely for anyone that is looking to do wholesale, virtual wholesaling. Okay, anybody that's looking to get out of their market and go into other markets and succeed. I have with me in this discussion, I have the #1 wholesaler on planet Earth. That is Jamil Damji with Keighley Investments.
What's going on, bro?
Hey,
thank you.
Welcome. Now, guys, you might recognize his voice if you're watching this. If you're listening to this on the podcast, if you're watching it on YouTube, then you would have seen one of the videos that we walked through your office.
Yep.
You opened the doors. We actually went through your office, saw your operation, really broke down some really great information. So if you guys haven't seen that, check it out. It's on the YouTube page. And he has also been featured on a podcast where we just kind of talked about what you did and how you built your business. But this is a special edition podcast. This is a special edition video because this is going to be very, very specific. And you're going to leave people with the exact blueprint that you're using to go into other markets.
Absolutely, man. And so, Brent, the reason why I'm here today is because as we were venturing into new markets, I thought, who better to talk to about this than Mr. TTP himself, Brent Daniels. Yeah. I know that your student base and all the folks that are following you in Wholesaling Inc., everybody wants to know, if I'm in a market of 50,000 people, is that it for me? Am I stuck here? How am I going to do business? And you know what? Mm-hmm. Don't get down. Don't feel bad about it. Live wherever you want to live. You can crush it in any market in the United States, but you got to do it smart, and that's what we're going to talk about today.
I love it. So let's get into specifics.
Awesome.
Real quick, just for a little background, guys. Jamil and his company does over 1,000 deals a year.
It's true.
Okay, just let that just settle in your brain for a little bit. This is 2 to 3 deals a day. Okay, so this is coming. I mean, this is just a huge honor for us to have him on the podcast, on this video. So really, again, we go back to growth mindset. You need to find a minimum, and there's going to be way more, but a minimum of 3 things that you're going to take action on when you're watching or listening to this podcast.
Fantastic, man. So that's great. Take action, #1 thing. I'm going to hop right into it. So what does Keighley look for when we're analyzing whether or not we should step into a new market?
Yep.
So,
and he's looking at his phone here, guys. He's looking at the phone
down.
Because he's got this all laid out. This is going to be bananas.
We're going to put this document that I'm looking at right now in the link below.
Yep.
So just look around, find it, download it, and that's going to be there for you to follow along with as well. So what are we looking for? So in the beginning, we're looking for the types of buyers, right? So we've got 2 types of buyer tiers. We've got seasoned investors and we've got speculators. Now, seasoned investors, they're our favorite types because there's not a lot of rapport needed. You don't have to, really massage the deal. They know exactly what they're looking for. They understand their numbers. Yep. They're going to come in. They are going to buy what they're going to buy, and they're not going to buy what they're not going to buy. This is the buyer you're really not going to ever push, right? This person understands their situation.
You're not going to explain to them why it's a good deal.
No, they're going to understand
They see it and they make a decision now. They'll buy them sight unseen. They know the neighborhoods. They can make decisions quickly. They're experienced.
Absolutely.
Love it. I love, real quick, sorry. Yeah. I love that you started out with, I go into other markets and I look for buyers first.
100%.
This is the Wholesaling Inc. whole model. Build up your cash buyer database first.
Why? Because if you're doing acquisitions before you figure out how you're going to sell your deal, you know what that makes you? A liar. It makes you a liar, and I'm sorry to say that. Sure. I don't want to use a negative term, but the fact is, you've got no way to perform. Yep. Unless you've got that money or that hard money source and you're willing to take this deal down, don't contract a house. Figure it out. It's super easy. It's just like understanding how to do a math equation. You got to know that certain things come first. Buyers come first. Get that buyer base built up. Yep. If you don't have a buyer base, come into a market that Keighley's in. We will help you to get your business jump started and then fly on your own once that's figured out.
Love it.
The other type of buyer, the speculator.
Yep.
Another one of our favorites. Why? Because these are individuals with quite a bit of net worth. They got money. They are always looking for places to put it, and sometimes they put them in Ferraris, sometimes they put them in Lamborghinis. All good stuff. But a better investment for these types of buyers, real estate. Yep. Now, these are the guys that are going to pay a lot more money than the other type of buyer. Why? Because if you can give them a 10% gain. So selling to them at 90% of ARV. They are happy. Why are they happy? Because they got a deal.
Yep.
And they didn't buy a Ferrari instead. So
well, and I think, in our experience, that's a lot of doctors, attorneys,
absolutely,
high-level professionals, business owners, people that are outside of the real estate business. They're not necessarily professional flippers or developers or whatever, or have these robust, rental portfolios.
Sure.
But they're just kind of getting going, and maybe they'll flip it, but a lot of times they hold on to it.
Yep.
And those are some of the best buyers ever because they pay more.
They pay more, but they require more work, right?
Yes.
And I'm going to talk a little bit
Yep.
about what that's going to look like. So absolutely, first things first, rapport, right? You're going to need to build that rapport. You're probably going to need to connect them with some form of capital. It's always good to have your hard money lenders. I prefer Capital Fund over here in Phoenix. I think they're in Colorado too, but always get a lender, a great lender, somebody that's reliable, no closing day shenanigans. Because remember, everybody that you introduce to your client pool is a reflection of you.
Yeah.
So if you do deals with Mr. Shenanigans and shenanigans happen at the closing table, guess what you are? Mr. Shenanigans, right? So don't put yourself in that spot. Vet your vendors, be prepared to have your name be on the line every time somebody that you refer is doing business with your clients. So you're gonna
real quick. How do you how do you find a good lender?
So for me, the best that vetting that I've been able to do is talk to some past clients.
Yeah.
Go online. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I get asked a question that would be easily answered by a simple Google search, right? Just look people up. Go into Bigger Pockets. Bigger Pockets is, one of those really interesting places where people have a lot of good things to say, and they'll come and share fantastic information, but you piss some people off, and they're also in Bigger Pockets talking about it all day long. If you find your lender to be one of those that everyone has something bad to say about it, where there's smoke, there's fire, I would say take heed, and maybe don't introduce them to your clients at first. Maybe try to use them on your own. Just vet them out. So I think, see the type of volume they're doing. Ask them, how many assets under management they have. These are questions that a lender should be able to ask. Find out if they're licensed, first of all, right? Holding a lender's license, either as a mortgage banker or even as an LO. These are important pieces to the puzzle. You don't want to be involved in transactions where your lenders are getting paid, side money. None of that stuff is going to come back and look good on you. So just be prepared to do business with the right folks.
One thing I found, the best hard money or private money lenders came from referrals from my escrow officer. I said, who's the easiest to work with on closing day, right?
Fantastic.
They go, this is the guy.
Great.
This is the gal. Yeah.
Great.
All right, let's get past it.
Okay.
We got a lot, and I want to get
So-
meat and potatoes on this.
So typically, they're not going to require too much of a discount. They understand they're buying undervalued, so that's great. And you'll probably have to sell. So this is where your salesmanship will come into play. You're going to need to talk to them about benefits. You're going to need to talk to them about long-term investment strategy. Get your understanding right. Get your information together, and just provide value for what you're trying to sell. So that's the different types of buyers we're talking about. Now, when we're looking at a major metro area and market types, what are the things that we're looking? So certain specific types of market. Appreciating markets. Just one like Phoenix, the one that we're in, right? So that's a great market for what we want to get involved in. Why? Because we know that assets are appreciating. There's going to be a lot of investor activity. Access to capital is going to be pretty easy. So that tells us that buyers are going to be able to fund. Deals are going to be able to get done quickly, and we're definitely in a good spot. We're also pretty good in stagnant markets, right? So volatility is not our friend. If you're on the upward peak or if you're kind of leveling out, it's great for investor activity. Investors love stability. They want to know that if they purchase a property in 6 months, it's going to be worth what value they've added. They shy away from situations that they're going to see some depreciation, right? So stable markets or appreciating markets, those are the types of markets we play in.
So you're saying you don't go into some of these markets that there's just a ton of properties at like $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. What markets won't you? I mean, I feel like the whole country is appreciating or stable, right?
Sure.
You know,
There's little pockets.
Is it price point that you're saying that, like, you know what, this isn't appreciating, nobody's going to lend, like, I know, like, most conventional lenders, they don't lend under $60,000.
Sure.
So you have to buy these cash.
Yep.
Yes, you can get great cash flow to rent them out, but then your renters beat up the property,
True.
and who do you have to sell it to? You got to sell it to investors when you want to exit.
And they're going to take a discount.
And they want a discount.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Also, remember that every market has its own sub-markets, right? So in Phoenix, for instance, our luxury market, it is a depreciating market.
Ah, got it.
Right?
Okay,
and
that makes sense. Yep.
So we are not going to enter the luxury market in Phoenix because we understand that the demand is lower.
Yep.
There's a downward pressure on pricing.
Yep.
And so really dive in to understand. It's not just about, okay, Phoenix is appreciating. It's no. Phoenix is appreciating into this price point. Beyond this price point, it's stable. And above that price point, it starts to depreciate. So really dial in those numbers. Don't just get, don't take one section of the market and think that it's going to work all the way across, because that's not true.
Got it.
And then what factors do we consider? So when we're looking at a market and we're making the decision whether or not to enter it, population, obviously, right? So if you've got a population of 500,000 people or more, there's going to be homes there for us to turn.
Is that your threshold?
It's our threshold, 500,000 people or more. Yeah, because beyond that, there's not going to be a lot of activity. The attraction to capital, now there might be good deals, but the volume, because remember, we're a volume wholesale business, right? Now, if you're happy doing 1-2 deals, a month, that's cool. Maybe being in a market of 100,000 people is exactly where you need to be.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to really grow and explode, and if TTP is what you do every day, you need people to talk to.
That's it.
Right? So
100%.
so that's why you got to get into markets where there's going to be people there.
So when you look population, do you just Google? You just Google
we
city
Google
and
it.
look
Usually
at
the
what
censuses are like 2015, so you know that people have been, and there's going to be more babies.
Yeah.
So that's happening, so you can probably add a little bit to that. But yeah, Google, Wikipedia is a great place to find out a population. And just, make sure you're keeping tabs, and you're not just entering a market because your buddy's there.
Yep.
Right? That's a little irresponsible.
So 500,000 plus.
Yep.
What's next?
So home sale volume.
Okay.
So our house is sitting on the market, right? Because remember, if an investor is buying a property, they're adding value, and then that property is sitting on the market.
Yep.
What's happening? The profit margins are decreasing. Their debt service is going up. They are less likely to re-enter into another cycle.
Yeah.
So the ability of them to come in and say, hey, that worked out well, I want to do this again, it decreases, right? So if houses are sitting on the market for some time, that's an indicator that there's a potential stagnation or potential depression or a decrease in price coming. So just be careful about that.
So do you look at supply and demand? Is it how many months of inventory is on the market?
Months of inventory.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. We
explain that. So months of inventory, basically you look at how many homes are going under contract or selling a month, closing a month, versus how many are active. That's the equation there. So in a regular market, it's about 6 months. But here in Phoenix and in a lot of other areas, what 3 months?
3 months.
3 months inventory.
And if you're playing in a market with 3 months inventory, again, you're probably safe.
Yep.
But really be careful about those luxury areas, because that's where you're always going to have a completely different mathematics, right? It's just, it is what it is.
I think that you can look at the median price.
Yeah.
And look at that, and you don't want, I would say, what would be kind of a threshold? Maybe double the median price?
I think so. I think
Does
double
that
the
make
median
sense?
prices.
I think
makes
there's a
sense,
big difference between, I mean, even buyers that are under, like above 600,000. You
True,
know what I mean?
true.
Like that 5 to 6, maybe that's their forever home, or the next, it just depends on the area.
I always pay attention to lending, right? So what's the threshold for a jumbo mortgage?
What is it?
Well, over here I think it's 460,000.
Yeah.
So beyond $460,000, it's a jumbo mortgage, right? Getting approved for a jumbo mortgage is not easy.
Right.
It's very difficult. You need all kinds of income, and a lot of guys who are in that higher income category, they have different sources of revenue, and some of that revenue is cash. Some of it might be through investments. Some of it might be through different vehicles. And so getting all that together so that a lender can make sense of it isn't always the easiest. And that's why you're going to have those
That's why there's less
situations.
buyers.
That's why there's less buyers.
Yeah,
there.
got it.
For sure. Available inventory, obviously, that we touched on that. Appreciation over 1 year. So how much has the property been appreciating, from 12 months, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty simple. We've been seeing, an average of 7% here in Metro Phoenix. So if you're finding that there's some appreciation in that market, you're probably in a good spot.
Okay.
Appreciation over the last 5 years. Now let's look at that in terms of, okay, so in 5 years, has that appreciation, are we at now a steep angle? Has this appreciation, is it pretty level, consistent year over year over year?
Yep.
And then
what are you looking at to find these?
Prices? You mean like the
appreciation level?
We're going through bunch of different data sources. Tax records are typically our favorite to use because it's the most accurate.
Yep.
But I think you can find a lot of information from just the online resources like Zillow, Google. There's a lot of information available to us online that you can get fairly easily.
I think if you just Google it, then you should be able to find that information somewhere.
Somewhere.
The appreciation over the last 5 years.
Yeah, but now the appreciation over the last 10 years. We want to understand the effing market cycle.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Look at California.
Mm-hmm.
California did not get hit, and not all of California, but LA, Southern California, Northern California, they did not get hit the same way as the rest of the country in the Great Recession, right?
Yeah.
So what's happened over the last 10 years, and how close to the peak are we right now? It's important, guys, pay attention to market cycle.
Okay.
Do we feel like we might be at the top? Do we feel like we're climbing towards the top? Could we potentially be on a downward slope? Just know where you are so you know where to position yourself, right?
Okay.
10 years will give you a full market cycle.
Okay.
Pretty close to a
Got
full market cycle, so pay attention to that 10-year curve.
Yep.
And then this is a real big one, trustee or judicial state. Have you ever had an opportunity to talk to your client base about that? So trustee state, guys. Trustee states are the states that attract all the hard money lenders. Why? Because if you've got a borrower who's not paying their mortgage, guess how long it takes to get them out? At most, 90 days. 90 days. That is golden for a lender because, look, the cost of they got to get that money out. They're paying on that money. They're losing every day that their borrower is defaulting. So they want to turn. They want to be able to get that borrower out, get that property back on the market, turn it around again. Now, judicial states, that can take up to a year, maybe even longer sometimes.
That's why private money
is so hard.
Charges a lot up front in some of these states.
Absolutely,
right?
That's where you're going to get points.
Yeah.
You're going to have all kinds of fees. There's going to be all kinds of extra guarantees involved. I mean, look, that's just going to decrease the amount of investor activity you're going to have available to you, right?
I love that.
If we're signing personal guarantees,
I never even thought about it.
Yeah, so trustee states, get after them. The judicial states, you're going to have to do a little bit more digging. Now, proximity to you, I mean, I don't know. I think that's neat. I think it's important for it to be close.
Yeah.
But I think that's like way, 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 way down on the scale, right?
Yeah.
I think how close you are to a market's not important. We live in the age of the internet.
Yep.
Getting people to get out and do something for us for a very minimal amount of money is there all day, right? TaskRabbit. What's another one that you like to use?
We posted to Craigslist.
Fiverr, Craigslist.
We posted to Craigslist just to get somebody to take pictures because we do a lot of land deals.
Sure.
So they're out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So some dude with his phone, which is fine. We just need a picture from the iPhone and video. $50.
$50,
$50,
guys.
Yeah.
Like you're in business. You've got pictures. You've got the information. You can start selling your deal.
Yeah.
Like, so do not care how close the market is to you. It's like and then you know what I think the thing is that that's the number one thing people start to think of before they take into any consideration what we've already talked about, right? And in our opinion, it's like the most unimportant.
Yep.
So don't worry about how close it is to you because that's what phones and emails are for. Now, I did misalign public data versus a non-disclosure state.
I know, that's good. And then more and more it's coming up.
And more, right? So public data, why is that important? Because that's where you're going to find your buyers.
Yeah.
Your buyers are going to come.
And your lists of
distressed properties, right? So does the state easily provide you data, or do you got to search for it, dig for it, spend all kinds of money, have these relationships with these third-party sources that are charging. I mean, there's some third-party sources that will charge $20,000, $30,000 a month for access to data in certain counties. That's just crazy town, right? So try to be in states where it's disclosure and the access to data is there. And then average sale price, right? For us as wholesalers, it doesn't really bother me if the average sale price is high. Like Northern California, I can tell you wholesalers are crushing their assignment fees up there. Why? Because we're talking houses that are teardowns being worth $1.5 million. Yeah. For you to be able to flip that $1.5 million contract for 1.6 and make a $100,000 assignment fee is not a big deal when you're talking San Francisco Bay. Yeah. But can you make a $100,000 clip on a house in Phoenix? It might be a little harder, right? So it's a lot harder, right? So average sale price, what you can assume is the higher the average sale price, the higher your assignment fee, and the lower your volume.
But look at the numbers. If you're going higher, look at the numbers. Watch how it's trending, appreciation-wise and sale-wise, and how long they're staying in the market if it's a luxury property.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Awesome. So research tools. So what are some of the tools that we've been using to get our research? So citydata.com, everybody knows that. Yep. Neighborhoodsource.com, another great. Realtor.com, another great one. Trulia, just simple. Just Google. There's Google searches, please, guys. Just take some time before you ask crazy questions to people that you probably shouldn't be asking crazy questions to.
Sure.
If you want some simple information, just Google it. Again, go on Bigger Pockets. There's some pretty smart people over there spending their days. There's all kinds of public data sources, so just get after it. And then what action steps can you take? So create your own spreadsheet. Really get serious about it. I think that if you're going to spend time and you're going to spend resources buying data, and you're going to hire callers, if you're going to do all that work, be top heavy. Begin by doing some research, create a spreadsheet, make sure you really, 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 really understand everything that there is to know about that market before you jump in. And then when you do jump in, go in both feet.
Go crazy.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean months of research, right?
No, that means...
How long do you think it will take?
2 days.
2 days.
2 days.
2 days.
Spend 2 days thinking.
Probably in that, it's probably 2 hours, realistically.
Yeah. I'd say gather the information, absorb it, think on it, take action.
Yeah.
Cool? Yeah. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about are what do we at Keighley do when we're going to enter in a new market. We've made a decision, okay?
So you are in, what markets are you in?
Currently, we are buying and selling houses in, obviously, Maricopa County and Phoenix, Tucson. Yep. We're in Tampa. Okay. We're in Orlando. Okay. And we are in Atlanta, Georgia right now. These are all our active markets. I think I said Tucson as well. These are our active markets. We are days away from Salt Lake City. Okay. So super excited about that. Need to pick your brain a little bit about that afterwards. Okay. And then we are a few months out in Houston and Dallas. Wow. So those are the next markets.
So you went through these exact steps to go into their markets. Yep. And when you go into a market, I mean, you go in fierce. So what are the action steps? What do you do?
I love that question. Yeah. So we've got some pretty important things that some of this is going to sound like it's a common sense, but it's only common if you use it, right? Yep. So first thing you do, file your LLCs in a new state. Guess what? I am Phil and I Buy Houses LLC in your specific area that you're buying houses in does not translate into a new market. You gotta form a new company. Got it. You can't use your Arizona LLC in California. It just doesn't work. Title companies are gonna go berserk. They break when you send them a deal with an out-of-state corporation. Really? If you want to see people break, that's how you break them. You send.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
So you file an LLC. You've got one in Florida.
Yes,
you got
sir.
one in Texas.
Yes,
You've
sir.
got one in Utah.
Yes, sir.
Got it.
Yeah. File your LLCs.
Yep.
Create the internet infrastructure. So build your websites, build your apps, build out your Podio, get your phone numbers, your email templates, get all that set up so that you're organized. Because remember, when you get into your market, after the fact, it's not the time to get organized. Organize yourself before the fact. Okay. And I can't stress this enough. Look, I'm a big fan of Magnus Title. Obviously, we've got a partnership with them.
Yeah.
But Fidelity Title, man, they are the most amazing partners that you will ever find. Like Noel Moretti, Sharon over here, Dina Jones. They have opened so many doors for us across the country.
Yeah.
I can't say enough nice things about them. Every title company that we've worked with that they've referred us to has been the best. So do this. Make friends with the marketing people at your favorite title company.
Yeah.
And if you don't have one, take my advice and go to Fidelity. Why? Because they are the nationwide the biggest. They're investor friendly. They will take care of you. They may not send you to basketball games, but buy your own basketball tickets.
Yeah.
They are going to open doors for you. They are going to show you who you should be dealing with and who you shouldn't be dealing with. So just make those relationships because they're awesome.
It's huge.
Also, have their attorneys look over your paperwork. I can't stress this enough because this is what we had happen to us in Florida. So in Florida, for those of you who are watching from there, you'll know that in order to cancel a deal, because that happens every once in a while, the buyer and the seller have to agree. So even though you're in the inspection period, the deal's not going to work out, you send a cancellation, try to get your earnest deposit back, that has to be approved by the seller. And if you've angered the seller for whatever problem, whatever reason, the deal didn't close, they can jack your earnest money. They can have it sit in limbo, and it will sit there, and a title company will not release it. It doesn't matter how many mean emails you send them. You have to actually sue. So in order to get what typically we're putting up around $2,000 for an earnest deposit, so we had to file a $2,500 lawsuit to get our $2,000 check back. We did it on principle, but we did it just so that we could win the fight.
Okay.
But what Fidelity did for us was they've got in-house counsel.
Yeah.
And their in-house counsel looked at our contracts and helped us tweak the verbiage so that we remove the clauses that give us brain damage. We add the clauses that protect us better. And that just allows for a smoother and easier situation if, for whatever reason, your deal's not going to work out.
Guys, the title companies have an attorney on staff
that they pay
that will help you out and not charge you.
Yep.
It's just asking them. It's talking to, building that relationship with them, talking to them and saying, hey, this is the paperwork I want to use. Do you suggest anything different, right?
Exactly.
Listen, if you can afford it and get your own real estate attorney, which you and I both have, that's excellent and that's a great resource. But if you're just starting out and you want to get some legal guidance that's free from somebody that's doing it every single day, talk to the title company, sit down with their in-house legal counsel, and there you go. It's a huge resource.
And let me just add this. Even if you have your own attorneys and you're not trying to leverage the cost, the fact is if you're going to use that title company for your escrows, then have their legal look at it first. Because your attorney might have said, no, I've got this all figured out. You'll have your earnest deposit released. Well, you know what? That escrow officer's attorney might have a different idea. So let them see it first because they're the ones going to be making the decision anyways, right? So have them look at it. Hire a property specialist in that market. So, don't just rely on Craigslist and TaskRabbit or Fiverr forever. Start to make a relationship. If you like the guy from Fiverr, hire him again.
That's it.
Keep him going and keep those relationships expanding because the more loyal you are to your people, the more loyal they are to you.
Awesome.
And then just update all of your contact information, right? People want to see that there's some form of local activity. So if that means that you need to get, a local phone number, just don't be sketchy looking, right? Right?
Yes.
Because it's like I don't answer phone numbers anymore that aren't local.
You don't know.
Because I'm getting robo-dialed all day, right? And so is everybody else.
Yeah.
So update the contracts, update your email, update your phone numbers, contact information. Common sense stuff, guys. But really, if you really want to do this at a high level, it's important to dot all your I's and cross your T's. So TTP, guys, that's what I got to share for you. It's super, super awesome. This program is great because it allows you to do wholesaling from anywhere. And so if you're really interested in jumping into a virtual market, get that link below. I'm going to have that uploaded for you. Alejandra's going to upload that for you guys. It'll be on the link. Any questions about dispositions, I told you the markets we're in. We're in Phoenix. We're in Tucson. We're in we're in Tampa, not Miami anymore. Tampa, Orlando. About to start Salt Lake and Atlanta, Georgia. If you've got a deal for us to sell, reach out, man. We'd be happy to.
Yeah, and this is the secret formula that Jamil has in his business, going from Phoenix and doing 70 deals a month, 80 deals a month, to doing this in different markets. Is you build up your cash buyer database.
For sure.
I mean, you're the best at disposition in the country. That's why people bring you deals that when they have trouble selling them, or they come to you as the buyer. You guys will. They know that when they come to you, the deal gets done, nothing gets backed out, and it's and it's a lock for them getting paid.
Yeah, sure.
It is. So, guys, if you want to reach out to them, if you're in those markets, I highly encourage you get onto Keighley.
Yeah, find me on.
See his hat, Keyglee. It's the craziest business name in the country, but
That's awesome.
It's Keighley.
Keighley on Instagram, or at JDamji, at JDAMJI on Instagram. Find us there.
And meet with your guys that are local there, because you've got boots on the ground in each area, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So you meet with those guys. Really, really an unbelievable resource for these markets that they're going in. I highly encourage you guys to consider doing business with them. And you're the man.
You're the man, Brent.
This is exciting. I mean, you gave a lot of instruction. You gave a lot of information here. You're going to have it. People can download it down at the bottom of this.
Yep.
If you're listening to the podcast, just go to Brent Daniels Real Estate on YouTube and find it there. And as always, if you're looking to join the most proactive group in real estate investing, it is the TTP program at wholesalinginc.com/TTP.
Yeah.
Check out the page, check out the testimonials. If it feels right in your gut, set up a call, and we'll be talking to you soon. I look forward to working with you personally. Until next time, guys, you guys are the best. Thank you for subscribing to this channel. Give us a like, and we'll see you next time. See ya.